Hello and welcome to this video on the SeaArc system, its various components and how you fit it into your boat. So it may come in a box like this. Just take off the sleeve and open the box. You have a number of components. There's your SeaArc vest for your life jacket. There is the preventer elastic with the elastic fitting, and then there's the core system, which involves the leash, the SeaArc and the attachment rod. So if you bring these out of the box, we'll go through them one at a time. So as it comes out of the box, the SeaArc actually has a cable tie around it just to keep it together while it's being packed. So we can just slip that off and away it comes. And we'll go through each of these parts in turn. So the core of the system is the SeaArc expandable rod. This is what braces the whole system into the boat. Now you'll notice that one side is green and the other side is red. The reason for that is that the threads are left-handed and right-handed threads. It also means that if you need replacement parts, you can just contact us and easily figure out which part you need. But essentially the green section should always go on the right-hand side of the boat, if you're sitting in it, and the red section should always go in the left section. So the idea of this rod is to expand into your boat. If you rotate the central bezel, the whole system will expand, and if you reverse it, it will contract. Okay, so the other reason for it being green and red means that I can say rotate it forward to expand the attachment rod, and rotate it backwards towards you while you're sitting in the craft to contract the rod and to remove it from the boat. So the various components are, as I said, the central bezel. These rotating objects here are called locking spanners. So when you get it into the boat and get it to tension, you wind these into the central bezel and they'll lock everything in place. And these objects here are the end bezels. So they basically brace everything onto the arc as they fit through the hole in the center, and then basically lock everything into place. So these end systems are little plugs that go through the arc itself and into the adjustment holes in your boat along the adjustment rails for your foot plate. Now at the other end of the end bezels is a washer, which basically braces them onto the central bezel, which is 316 grade stainless steel, and basically means that they won't split no matter how much force you apply onto them. They direct the pressure directly onto the anchor points of the arc. So the whole design of this system is to basically lock everything into place with pressure, so that you can rely on it if you exit your boat out in the ocean. So we've got some glass. These end systems can be removed. And the reason for that is if you've got very long legs and you run out of adjustment holes in your side rails, these are actually also designed to fit over the screws on the forward end of your foot plate adjustment rails. So these come out, slightly different end bezels are put in, which basically are designed to mount over your screw heads. So the way that the SeaArc is screwed into the boat is different to the usual way, which uses the adjustment holes. So what you do with your current foot plate attachment screws is you unscrew them, and we will supply a longer version of your current screw or bolt that your boat uses at the front of your adjustment plates. So that's the anchor rod, how it expands and contracts and locks. So that's basically all the components at the core of the system. The next component is your actual arc. So this is composed of four pieces of equipment. First, your HDPE rod itself. Now this means high density polyethylene. It's designed to be very strong but also flexible. So it's designed to basically attach the end of the leash to its apex by means of this stainless steel saddle. As you can see, most of the components on this are all very high grade 316 grade marine grade stainless steel. There are no shortcuts here. The elastic leash is basically reinforced stitched into a loop, and this is how it comes, basically already attached to the apex of your SeaArc. The leash itself is designed to withstand over 300 kilos of pressure, and it's designed to expand but also be comfortable. It's designed to float over your legs as you're paddling. So by floating over your legs, there's a bit of tension between the arc and your life jacket, and that basically means that if you exit the boat or load yourself onto the boat or fall off and need to remount, on either side, it basically keeps suspended above your legs, so it avoids any sort of tangling no matter what you do. This is a high grade, again, stainless steel snap shackle, which they use for sailing. High pressure applications like keeping the spinnaker onto the end of the spinnaker pole, tons of pressure these systems are designed to withstand. And on the end of the release pin is a cord which basically comes out from underneath your life jacket, and it is designed to release. So by pulling this cord, it'll release instantaneously no matter how much pressure is currently on the system. So basically with those three components, the anchor rod, the SeaArc and the leash, the three main components that gets all together, I'll then now come to the fourth component. The fourth major component of the SeaArc system is the internal life vest in this Ziploc bag. So taking it out of the bag, you'll come across this, which is your internal vest. It's designed to go inside any design of life jacket currently used in when you paddle, whether it be a center zip life jacket or a racing version without a center zip, side clips, or just putting it over your head. In either case, this vest is designed to go inside the life jacket and clip onto that snap shackle that I showed you before. So these reinforced straps ensure that the system doesn't come apart when put under pressure, but it's also designed to attach to the inside of your life jacket with these special buckles which are attached to the vest with elastic straps. So again, every part of the system is designed to give, to stretch, so there's no one point of pressure at any time. So what we're going to do is we're going to fit this to a center zip life jacket, but I'm going to keep the zip closed so we can pretend that it's the other sort of life jacket. Obviously it's easier with the center zip, but it can be done with both. So we'll use this excellent V3 Vycobi life jacket as a example. We'll pretend that it's the other sort without the central zip, and this is the vest. So I mentioned the reinforcing ring. On the other side there's also a separate pocket with two zips. So it's basically there to carry any other sort of soft material that you may have a need for when you're out at sea. Basically anything soft. If you've got a life jacket which doesn't have a center zip, then you can use this bottom opening to access this pocket. So the center zip, of course, is for the central zip life jackets, but let's pretend that we don't need that and fit it to this jacket as it is. So basically we go onto the inside, we just put it on the inside like so, and the first thing we do is we put on the shoulder straps. Now these go over anything that may be currently attached to your life jacket. So in this instance we've got a water tube, so they go around the water tube. Again, these are made of elastics, so they're designed to stretch when put under pressure. So that's the shoulder straps that are attached and finished. So now we go to the clips, and then we just slot them in to each of the 4 straps. Now if there's a second adjustment strap, we just poke that through as well if you need to. So that's the first one. This is the second one. As you can see, the slots make it quite easy, and there's always enough room for the adjustment strap. So as long as it's neat and as long as it's on the front section of the life vest, you're doing fine. So we come to the third one. Notice that the slots are angled, so they're designed for the strap to go in a certain way. Much easier. And then lastly, we have the 4th strap, and then in it goes. So if you have side adjustment clips or clips that are designed to come apart so you can put the life jacket on, just ensure that these clips go on the front of those separation attachments. So as long as they're close to this section of the life jacket, you're good. So now it's all ready to go. So basically, as you can see, it sits on the front. It's very soft. It's actually like a layer which allows for better airflow, so it doesn't heat you up anymore. The one thing I would say is that if you have this on now, you may need to slightly adjust your side straps just to loosen them off a bit to take account of this extra layer that's between your body and the life jacket. Other than that, it's good to go. This is a demonstration of how SeaArc is actually fitted into the boat. There are 2 ways to do this depending on the length of your legs. Obviously, if your legs are so long that you use up all of these adjustment holes that the SeaArc normally fits into, then you're going to need a special fitting such as this, which fits in over the screw which screws the end of the adjustment rail into the boat. So just to show you how the anchor rod works, these are actually tightened onto the central bezel, so we can just release them like that and release the other one. They go the same way, and then to contract the rod, we can actually take it out of the boat like so. Now you can see that the extra screws have been put in, so the anchor rod acts just to brace the anchor point into the boat. So it's not absolutely necessary, but we do recommend that you still use this. So you just brace it back in like so, and then do up the locking spanners, and then it's good to go. However, to all intents and purposes, the most ideal way of putting in the SeaArc system is to use one of these adjustment holes. The reason why we do that is that you can get a better angle on the SeaArc loop, and the preventer will work better at bracing it towards the front of the footwell. The fact that it's right at the front of the footwell, this is probably the worst case scenario, but we've actually put on a lot of pressure for the preventer so that it still keeps the arc forward, depending on the amount of tension that is placed under it. Okay, so in order to put the next one on, the usual fitting, firstly you get the arc and you make sure that it is facing backwards like so. You make sure that the adjustment rod goes under any sort of lines or fittings that might be inside the boat, so that doesn't interfere. And we basically, ideally, we want about 1, 2, 3 back from the front, and we basically brace it in to one of the holes. So then we put the other end of the arc in, and then you make sure that it's it contracts and then uses the adjacent hole, so it's not on an angle. So just count the holes, 1, 2, 1, 2, so it is on an angle. There we go. So now that it's in place, you basically hold the end bezels and then just expand it into the hole. There we go. It's as simple as that. So you don't want to over tighten it, you just hand tighten it so that it's firm. So basically with the locking spanners in place, everything is basically locked into the boat, and you can, it's basically part of the boat. You can lift the boat up quite comfortably with these. So we might just give it a little bit more tension. Again, not too much tension, you don't need too much. And then that's basically done. It's all in place. If there is a bit of gap between the loop and your particular design of boat, the foot rail, there are rubber washers that are provided. You can see them here, that you can place at the end of the end bezel, just to make it a neater fit and to adjust the force on the bottom of the SeaArc. So that's basically the SeaArc in place. So now all we need to do is fit the preventer. Now this is the preventer as it comes in the packet. Now the preventer is a component of the system which is extremely important, because it basically stops the arc just hanging over your foot pedals and becoming in the way. It also ensures that the arc is tensioned so that this floats above your legs and makes it easier to get on and off the boat without the leash getting in the way. Otherwise it would just sink down between your legs. It would still be a whole lot better than the usual leg leash, but you would just need to be a little bit more aware of keeping your legs under the leash, whereas it should float above your legs as you're using your leg drive. So the actual preventer itself is basically got two components. One is the elastic and the other is this locking mechanism that we've designed. So basically this locking mechanism has two tasks. Firstly, it locks in the end of the system once you've got it to tension, but it also acts as an adjustment. So once the other elastic goes through, you can take it to tension and then tie a knot in it and adjust it to length and then tie the knot. So it's a good way of actually adjusting it to your particular boat. So the way we fit it is that we get the other end of the loop, the front end of the loop, and thread it through. Then depending on the design of the boat, there may be a handle in front. You can loop it over the handle. If it's an Epic, there are certain adjustment elastic anchors that you can use. What I'd suggest is you just use a screwdriver to loosen them, feed these through, and then tighten them up again. I've tried it on an Epic, it's actually quite doable. On this particular All Wave, we'll use this extra loop just as an example. And it's always good to not just use one, but use the extra tension of two wraps of the elastic. And we'll just thread it through again. There we go. Alrighty. And now we will thread it through the locking mechanism. Just try and make it as neat as possible. Okay, now it just goes through the hole. Look, it's quite neat, but just give it a bit of a twist and away you go. So basically we just want to make it nice and tight, and then when we're happy with the tension, now this loop needs to be the same angle as the base of your foot plate or your heel plate. It works best when there's this sort of angle, which is exactly the same as the base of your foot plate. So use that as a guide. I don't know whether you'd call it, 15 degrees off center, but that is the ideal angle to use your SeaArc. So the preventer keeps it at this angle. So once you're happy with the tension, you just put a knot in it, and that's basically what you need for length. So now that you've got the length, then basically the locking mechanism goes in like so. You just feed the elastic into the gap, making sure you've twisted it the right way around so that when it's time to twist back, it just locks into place, just like that. Okay? So that's basically locked in, ready to go, and it works by keeping the the arc at the exact angle so that it can tension above your legs. And that's the complete, once you've cut it to length and sealed it with a lighter just for the end so it doesn't fray. That's basically the completion of the SeaArc installation into your boat. There are quick setup guides that we will provide through the website and also printed out and given to you when you purchase the system. Any questions, please direct them to hello@seaarc.com.au. Thanks very much for your time and enjoy your paddling. Cheers.